Enjoying the light. Yo, what's up? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from Raven off Irwood, where they took Mimosa tenuiflora, and here's the full report details. Okay, so here we are to cover one of the most commonly used DMT containing plants, that being Mimosa tenuiflora, otherwise known as Mimosa hostilis. We brought this plant up before in some ayahuasca reports, where it will be used as a main ingredient. So naturally, I want to show a report of how it may act like on its own without that DMT portion being activated like that. And based on this report and some other anecdotes, notably, it can have some mild effects by itself. It really doesn't seem like anything too psychedelic, but more so like a mood booster. You'll just see what I mean. We'll break this down more in a future video, but for now, I'm sure you'll enjoy this. It is pretty insightful, so without further ado, let's dive right into this. I can say I purchased the Mimosa accidentally. While I purchased salvia online, I noticed the Mimosa. It was very cheap and I decided to give it a try. I didn't really know the effects of this plant. When I received the Mimosa powder, I started to research online for the effects, dosage, and how to consume it. I got the impression that it's complicated to prepare it and must be consumed with Syrian root, which I didn't purchase. I also encountered a list of foods, medicines, and drugs which should not be consumed along with the Mimosa. Some of it makes sense, but there was no explanation why I should avoid dairy products. Is it dangerous? Will it decrease the effect of the drug? Will it make me feel bad in the stomach? Who knows? As well, people mentioned fasting and even avoiding waters 3 hours before the consumption of the drug. I was not sure if the Mimosa has effects by itself, or does it require the Syrian root. I tried to Google it and found someone asking the same question, but the answer was, try and tell us. In contradiction to everything I read by now, it says I should soak it in cold water for some time and not boil it, else the DMT will be destroyed. At this point, I was really confused. I mixed it with water on Friday evening, something like 1 cup of water for all the amount, grams. I closed it in a jar and shake well. After that, I put it in the fridge. Every few hours, I shake it again. I did not eat for 10 to 12 hours, and on Saturday noon, I filtered the mix through a cloth. I didn't throw the leftovers. I cooked them just in case the cold fusion would not work. I thought I would need to consume at least 25% to get some effects, but just to be careful, I decided to do it very slowly to be sure there will not be an allergic reaction or something bad in my stomach. I dipped a spoon and put it in my mouth. This was a tiny bit. I didn't take a whole spoon, something like 3 drops of the liquid. The amount was so small, I didn't feel the horrible taste described by other users. After 10 to 15 minutes, I felt some short dizziness and got scared a bit. I drank water to relax and realized this is a placebo effect. Is it? I waited 45 minutes and then take another tiny dose, less than the first time. Again after 10 minutes, I felt short dizziness. I was not sure if I got some effect or not. Something felt weird, but everything seemed to be normal. Meanwhile, I cleaned a little bit in the house and put the laundry outside to dry. Outside, I really enjoyed the sun and the nice weather, but still, I had doubt if this is the effect of the Mimosa. With a 40-minute difference, I took another tiny dose. I looked on the floor. There was a reflection of the light from outside. It seemed so beautiful. I went outside again and I enjoyed the beauty of the sky and the bright line. I realized I'm under the effects of the Mimosa. I felt I want to see more of this bright day and sun, and I took the dogs for a walk. There were no hallucinations, just nice feelings and love for the beauty of nature. I have noticed every plant and flower, and felt empty towards the plants that turned down their leaves under the heat of the sun. I felt I want to go inside this garden and give them water. I kept walking until I arrived at the beach. There I sit for a short while and enjoyed so much of the beauty, especially the reflections of light which painted silver. I passed by 2 big trees on my way. They gave me a very good feeling. They were magical. It was very similar to the feeling I got from a tiny dose of LSD. I came back to the house and take another tiny drop. I sit in my very small garden and enjoyed so much of the plants. I have noticed there is so much diversity in my small garden, and felt I want to know the names of each plant and insect in my garden. I felt so connected to the universe, and I want to try some actual travel meditation on YouTube. Due to problems with my internet connection, I gave up. It was around 7 p.m. and I was almost 20 hours without eating. It didn't bother me too much, but I decided to make myself dinner. I ate slowly, afraid that there would be some reaction in my stomach. Everything was okay. After that, I watched a movie. It was already dark outside and dim light inside the house. After the movie, I took another tiny dose, then went again to the street. I didn't feel like before. I assumed it's because I have ate, and some hours passed since the first dose. I did enjoy the lamps in the street, or lights of a police car that drove by. I realized the strong light makes me feel good. When I came back to the house, I turned on all the lights, and it felt nicer. The night before I smoked salvia. I don't know if it gave some kind of boost here, or if it was already out of my system.